what will the ending look like, right? In the ending of like Ladybugs, I watched that movie all the time as a kid. I love that movie. Jonathan Brandis was the boy who played in the girls' soccer team. But at the end, there was this girl power moment where Jonathan Brandis takes off the wig and he's like, "You don't need me. You can do this by yourself." And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to do it." A new trailer just dropped, which has 20 million views on X alone. And you said you have not watched this yet.
I have not watched this. No.
Okay. This is coming from Daily Wire, which is the conservative outlet. And this is a tweet from Jeremy Boring, who I believe is their CEO. And he says, and a quote, says, "Hollywood won't make a movie about how laughably absurd it is that we now have grown men to call themselves women, then dominate women's sports. So we did, introducing our first feature-length comedy, Lady Ballers." So it's coming out on the 1st, which this is a wonderful statement on society. We don't need to watch the full trailer because you guys will get the gist of it. But as you go, we'll just watch the beginning of it here.
In a world where women's sports is being transformed, the Daily Wire calls foul with the most triggering comedy of the year.
So you get the idea of what's happening.
So I'm offended because I played women's basketball in high school.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, what happened?
Did you get your ass whooped?
Yeah, I got my ass whooped. That's what happened.
So the premise is really simple as we kind of skip through, and Twitter's videos doing it raw. I'll have to refresh. But the long and short of it is these guys who sucked at sports, they went in and they had a basketball team, and they realized that they can now identify as women. They go in and they decide they want to become a basketball team and be the best women's basketball team in history. Now, you can see that they come to this realization, and they have all these effeminate guys who become women, and they're all in their pink, and they're beating the hell out of everybody. But they come to this realization that not only can they win in basketball, but they can win in all sports, including wrestling and soccer and everything else. And as they make their way through, and I think one of the issues is that you can see this is later in the where they're playing against the Cowgirls, and they're all a bunch of dudes too. So they eventually run into a little bit of a drama. So this movie is called Lady Ballers. Oh yeah, and they also decide that this is actually kind of a funny line here at the end.
Lady Ballers.
One can even be trans age now, which provides Sheelix with a wonderful opportunity to relive all the experiences that she missed out on in school.
So the idea of taking a step back. So a lot of people, they opened up this trailer saying this is going to be extremely triggering. This is a triggering thing. And in 2023, it is triggering. The problem is, if you go back 20 years, there was a little film called Joanna Man. Do you guys remember this film, Joanna Man?
Yep.
Right. And I went in and I actually watched the trailer to Joanna Man earlier today. And if you look at there's a little sequence here that more or less, if you were to put this footage in to the Lady Ballers footage, it would fit perfectly. Just like in the trailer for Lady Ballers, Joanna Man's dunking all over things. They put these in these. There's going to be these awkward situations where she's shaving her mustache, and she needs to get waxed, and oh my, she needs to take a shower with the girls. So the internet, obviously, it's funny because there are people who are responding to my tweet. I more or less said the exact same thing here, is that 20 years ago this would have been called funny, and now it's called now it's like triggering, more or less.
Bigoted.
Yeah. She's the man, right? Amanda Bynes. She was in
right.
I love that movie.
My daughter watches that all the time now. She's discovered Amanda Bynes, and I haven't told her the ending to the Amanda Bynes story. But I'm like, go on, honey. You watch those movies.
Well, okay. So Daily Wire is a conservative outlet, but they've said that they don't want their movies to have an overt political tone. They just want their movies to be fun and free of politics, right? But this is obviously like, it's crazy to say that in 2023 and going into 2024, the idea that this is a political issue is crazy. I am just fascinated by the amount of people who are so upset that we'd make this movie's being made today, and it's just flabbergasting to me. I don't know. Neon, do you have any thoughts on Lady Ballers, the latest hit from Daily Wire?
No. It's like, I mean, if I had seen this trailer and I didn't know it came from the Daily Wire, I'd just be like, whatever. I've seen this before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we used to see movies like this all the time. It's just that, yeah, in this day and age, you're not allowed to go there. But
I think that's why they do, though, right?
Yeah, that's why they're going there. Just because you told us no, so we're going to do it. They're going to use the outrage as part of the marketing. And that's whatever you can do to get views, right? But I would have looked at it and been like, whatever.
Right.
Seen this before.
Yeah, we used to get movies like that all the time. Like there was even
White Chicks,
that Rodney Dangerfield movie where he's like a soccer coach.
Ladybugs. Yeah.
Oh, Ladybugs.
Yeah, Ladybugs.
Yeah, that was
Hot
good.
Chick with Rob Schneider.
Yep, that one. There was also that movie with Johnny Knoxville where he plays a slow person. I don't know if I can say the R word on YouTube. So, but he puts himself in the Special Olympics. Like it's kind of the same premise.
Right. And just for point of reference, Juwanna Mann was a flop back in the day, but it still made almost $14 million. And so I would like to think over on a pretty minimal budget back in the day. And Warner Brothers was the company that was the distributor of the whole thing. So just saying, it's amazing how things have changed so quickly in the last 20 years.
Well, David Zaslav's in charge. Maybe they'll make a sequel
to Juwanna Mann.
Yeah.
He wants a Barbie sequel. So,
well, what's going to be interesting with this movie in particular is what will the ending look like, right? In the ending of like Ladybugs, I watched that movie all the time as a kid. I love that movie. Jonathan Brandis was the boy who played on the girls' soccer team, but at the end, there was this girl power moment where Jonathan Brandis takes off the wig and he's like, "You don't need me. You can do this by yourself." And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to do it." And they go out and they win, and it's girl power. They can't really do that in this movie, right? Because they're shoving the ridiculousness of this in the face of society and be like, "You realize how stupid this is?" So I think the only proper way to do this is just to have them blow through the entire competition. And almost, have you guys heard about the alternate ending of Dodgeball, where Ben Stiller gets hit Ben Stiller hits Average Joe's guy in the face, and then the movie just goes to credits and it ends right there. It's like a hard cut. Have you heard about that before?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so that was supposedly the original cut of the ending of the movie, to where it just ended and it ends on a downer, and it's supposed to be this massive joke. But they test screened it, and people hated that. So that's when they added all the the money, and it's kind of like a convoluted ending, and the good guys win and all this. But originally the ending had the bad guys winning. And that was kind of the joke of the whole thing, was that you can't beat Globotech or whatever, or Globo-Gym.
Yeah.
And
Nobody likes those kind of endings, though.
Right. But it's funny to think about, right? So I think they made it a DVD bonus extra, or bonus finishing, or a bonus ending or something. But you can't really do that with this. So they kind of have, how they finish this film is going to be honestly very interesting to me, because you can't have that maybe they do have a girl power moment, but they can't do it in the same way of Jonathan Brandis taking off a wig and telling the 12-year-olds to go score some goals.
Maybe Gina Carano comes in at the end and gives a little speech, yes, women can be strong and still feminine, and
Like a fourth wall breaking moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how, because that's the thing when your movie is basically created just to like whether it's the right or the left, just to like own the other side. What is the point? I mean, what is the point of it? Do you have a punchline? Is it good? Is it going to get you to think about things, or is it just like, we stuck? And we see this on the left side all the time with media. It's like the whole purpose of this movie was to make the bigots mad. And then, no, that's literally it. The whole purpose was just to make the bigots angry. And that's, there really is no more to it than that. And I guess my thing is like, if you're going to have somebody like the Daily Wire doing movies, don't fall in the same trap. Like if you're going to do this and this is your premise, you got to have a punchline. You got to have something at the end, like you said, that's going to make this movie worth making, other than to just be like, oh, we just want to do this to trigger people and get views, because that's not really a good enough reason for it to exist, in my opinion.
Sure. Well, they in the trailer they have all the things that you'd expect from like a male going against a female in sports. You have them, obviously, like I mentioned, the idea of them like dunking all over themselves, dunking all over the teams. By the way, very clearly can tell these are lowered rims. I'm just going to let you know, a little secret, very low rims.
They are. That's all I shot in high school. Oh my God.
I know. Yes. These guys, by the way, if a guy was to dunk like this next dunk in particular, this one, he'd have to be like 8 foot tall, because he gets not off the ground at all. It's ridiculous. But yeah, they have them pushing and shoving and all sorts of stuff. And I'll say this, as a father of 2 girls, and Blabs, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Number one, Blabs, do you find this funny at all?
I actually do find it funny. And I was trying to find a scene in this trailer that makes me laugh my ass off. There's a comedian in there named Tyler Fisher, I think his name is. And he's actually mimicking Dylan, going, day number, blah, blah,
oh, yeah,
girl. I thought that was hysterical. I'm like, yes, there it is. I'm like, yes, finally someone's saying it, because I think this Dylan guy is a huge piece of shit for mocking women as he does, and then he's being celebrated for it. So this is actually, calling people out. And I'm not like, I don't really care about Daily Wire. They do whatever they want, but I actually do want to see this movie. And I want to see how it ends, just like Craig said. I'm like, okay, you make this movie, how's it going to end? Is it going to show off that, women can't actually compete against men, or what are they going to do? But they're actually like calling shit out as it goes along, saying, this is what's really happening in society right now. Women are literally being removed from sports. And no, it's not fair, and we shouldn't have to take it, because they're trying to censor us too, saying, no, go and get re-educated, it's fine, you can go get naked in front of that trans boy, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not okay. So yeah, I'm totally down for this.
All right. Thank you, Blabs. Appreciate that.
I'll go back in my corner.
Get to the corner, Blabs. There you go. But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.